Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final day of week one here for DMV Rivals. Wrapping us up today is going to be the Silk Road Shaitans versus the Big Back Chuds. My name is Shiv. I am joined by Mr. Rough Tough Afro Puff, ready to get you in to the debut of these two teams for what is going to be a long winter split.
Yeah, excited to finish up week one. Excited for the first showings from these two teams because we personally know a few of these players. Excited to see them either run it down or carry their teams to victory. We'll see.
Yeah, the league's Adam Silver is making his debut here, Mr. Hop Tech, and we're going to get right into draft as we already kicked it off. The Shaitans on the blue side, Big Back Chuds on the red. We've got some kind of pocket picks being banned out a bit here in this first stage. No Draven for Rexes, no Echo for Hop Tech, and no Aatrox for Camper. A few of these champions that we know these players to be pretty proficient on, even if they're not fully in the meta.
Yeah, one thing very well known is Hoptech loves his Azir, his Echoes, his Gallios. I think Azir's maybe not in meta, but yeah, the mid target bends at the Adam Silver of DMV.
Yeah, I thought I set the setting where it would not adapt the sizes and we would have fixed that issue, but no, we have not. Either way, it is still a Jinx first pick for Habibi Poppy. Always a very strong pick, especially when paired with Enchanters. It's a bit interesting to see it come out first. We'll see how the big back chuds want to respond. Rex is not going to have his power pick in the Draven. I have to come up with something else, and some issues on stream. The Big Back Chuds have locked in Aphelios and Scion as their 1-2.
Yeah, I'm seeing that the Scion infinite scaling super overpowered in Worlds 2025, but I'm really liking the Jinx for Hot Tech for Hot Tech's team here. I've played with Habibi Poppy. Habibi Poppy, very competent hyper carry player. If they get a Thresh or a Nautilus like to roam, and he's able to farm up in a weak side, and also just in team fights, he's gonna go crazy. I'm seeing the Volibear could be a counter pick into the Scion. What do you think?
Yeah, that might be the case up there, especially with Gwen. No, that's probably going to be Jason, the other piloting this champion in the jungle, is one of his more favorite picks. Does maybe open up some flexibility in the mid lane to allow more AD picks. But yeah, I have to imagine that Gwen is going jungle. And we'll see what the side of the Big Back Chuds want to do. It is going to be Viego as their third pick as I try to figure out what the hell is going on with that right side in the draft.
Yeah, I see. I'm liking the volleyball counter pick. I feel like Stein can't really do much into it. It's a good bully, and then Gwen Jungle seems pretty good. Get to scale up. I feel like Jungle has been kind of relegated to full clearing if you're not like a super like heavy engaged type jungler like Nautilus. But we see on the red side they ban out Hot Tex Azir, so three mid lane bans coming towards against just a Seif. Hot Tech.
Yeah, he will not have the Galio. Zero Domain, we'll see if they want to pinch him down at all. Did have one of the plays of the split back in summer with that 1v5 Ari pentakill. All those standard mid lane mages, we do have Oriana off the board, but still going to have Ari, still going to have Syndra, still going to have Victor.
Victor
Until
got
now,
banned.
as Victor has been banned away.
Yeah, as we pointed out, they did ban the Nautilus support because hot or the Shaitans are kind of missing some engage. They have some good hyper scaling from the Jinx. They have a good matchup in the top lane, good scaling jungler, but yeah, missing a little bit of engage. So looking to get that for the mid and support picks.
Yeah, for now it is going to be Lulu to try to amp up that Aphelios. Was a very strong combo back when Aphelios was first released. Has kind of stayed the same for Mr. 200 Years, where he definitely likes to play with those enchanters. He'll see if he can stay alive as the onslaught of Volibear and Gwen dives into him, and he can get going with red and white guns in the Lulu to keep him alive. What are you looking at here as a possible support pick for the Jinx?
I feel like I'm just yes, I'm engaged. Like Rakan, very good engage. It's okay in the Lulu where you can just kind of handshake the lane. You won't get really bullied out. I feel like there's no real kill pressure unless there's a massive skill gap or outplay in the bot lane here. Just doesn't even need Rakan or Zaya. Rakan is just really good. And we're looking to TF hover. I think it's pretty good. Like Hoptek's known for TF, has engaged, has roam potential to affect the other lanes. But Talia, very similar thing. Roaming ulti, but also stops a little with the dashes from Viego. So if he wants to like say no to a gank or try to get Viego, like not let Viego escape with a little mini dash on his W, Talia is very good here.
Yeah, I think when you have the Gwen and the Jinx as those big sources of damage in the other roles, you can afford to play something more utility on the Talia. Twisted Fate was also considered. We'll see what the mid lane pick is for Zero Domain. A lot of the standard picks have been taken away, and it is going to be Rise with more glitches on stream. Rise has been a very powerful pick at the start of this split with all the new items and everything that he's got at his disposal. But we'll see how it
Yeah,
pans out here against the Talia.
yeah. Just looking at the dress, I'm really looking at this Aphelios from the Chuds. Aphelios, I feel like, has actually gotten a lot better. He's kind of got relegated last season to like just not getting his items and power specs fast enough. But I feel like in this new season 16, ADs are getting to 3 items quite fast with their quests. And 3 items as a Aphelios, like that's all he really needs to like start pumping big damage, I feel. Jinx is kind of similar, but like she needs to be able to ramp up and start to reset to really pop off in the fights. And the Felix, I feel like, is more of a burst magey type of AD carry if he does not have red white. If he has like his Infernum, his ulti, and he starts splashing crits 2 times, his entire team's dead. But I feel like Jinx needs a little bit of his team to like set up, and then she can maybe execute with her super mega death rocket and start resetting, right?
Yeah, they definitely have the pick potential to start the fight with the Rakan, with the Talia shove, get the Jinx excited, and start taking fights. There is kind of that reset potential on the big back chuds, and the Viego is something I'm maybe a bit concerned about. The team feels like it doesn't have the ability to just shred down one guy in a flash to get Viego going with his R resets. Feels like big back chuds, the rest of that lineup is in for a grindy front to back fight, and we'll see if they can get that first domino because both sides, if that Scion dies first, if that Volibear dies first, it can end up snowballing into a massacre in any given fight.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'm just looking at in the big back chud side is they also kind of have a lack of engage. Their best engage is the Scion R, but I feel like if Scion is with the team, this is you have no engage from the support jungle, so it's kind of hard to like kind of position around objectives when you have no threat to go in without like insane position advantage or pockets of vision where the enemy doesn't know where you are. Um, I'm interested to see how they play it out. I think it's a pretty difficult team comp. While I think the Shaitans have a way easier to execute snap engage with the Rakan. You can get picks with Talia, as those catch people out of position. So I think Shaitans have edged out in this draft.
We'll definitely see if that's going to be the case or if those big late game team fighters of the Rise, the Aphelios, and the Lulu amping them up can be the difference maker to get big back chuds the advantage in this kind of game. I am also just interested to see how this Gwen goes because obviously not very typical jungler. Did allude that a lot of junglers now are just kind of full clearing because it's been nerfed to their clears, so they try to just keep up with the rest of the game because if we're being frank, the jungle quest is not that great compared to everyone else. So they just try to make sure that they can get whatever farm they can. If Gwen can get those cheaper items, she makes great use of that Night and Dawn item that I am blanking on the name of. And it is a
Oh
pick
yeah,
that
the new like
Jason,
AP one, right?
yeah, and it's a pick that Jason the Other has been pretty confident and pretty proficient on in the past. So we'll see if he can be an excellent barber or not here on one of his pet champions.
Yeah, I'm really looking at this mid lane matchup. I think Talia wins early, probably gets pushed on the rise, and then once he's 6, I'm looking at his ultimates to affect his other lanes because Aphelios Lulu, not a very mobile lane. in? Oh,
Yeah.
are we in game?
There was weird no spectator delay. So I was to the not used to the snap into game. So give us 1 second. Yeah. Any final thoughts as we look at these comps getting into game one?
As I said, I think the Shaitans edged out in draft here. I think they're just a little bit easier to play, and they also have winning lanes in two, and I think they're even in bot lane. So, and I think if the jungles are just going to farm, they have a advantage in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
We are going to
we'll
get onto
see.
the Rift for game number one between Adam Silver's Big Back Chuds or excuse me, Adam Silver's Silk Road Shaitans and the Big Back Chuds. Is maybe a bit of cheese in the bot lane as we saw that Bush stay, but I mean, I think both bot lanes are going to be pretty content to farm. We got junglers starting on opposite sides of the rift at least, both of them taking that red buff. So see how things are going to pan out for this early
Mhm.
game.
Yeah, I think Zero been trading really well, and right now this is kind of really standard for a recon lane against a Jenner. You just melee to get pushed in, but it doesn't really matter as long as they don't lose too much HP and Jink is still getting her farm. Trading top lane.
Yeah, I mean, Volibear is going to be able to beat down in this
Oh my
matchup.
gosh.
Camper does take an unneeded tower shot and a fully charged up decimated smash, but you can see with that Volibear chain lightning, he's just easily able to push in this wave. So even though Sion has tools
No
like that shield,
way.
he gets down so low and a
Wait.
flash in to finish the job. A2 YOLO thought he was safe to walk back, but he gives over first blood at 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is the power of the Volibear I was talking about. I think Volibear is just an insanely strong early game bully. I think he's strong. He beats pretty much every melee bruiser slash tank ever. You can't really out damage his heals, and I think A2 YOLO just didn't respect the trading power at level 2 and 3. Like you just can't beat this champion that early. You just have to concede the wave, concede the farm, and I feel like if he just laid back and let Camper on duty just use his passive on the wave, he could have picked up the wave for free under tower. So good play by Camper on duty. I think A2 YOLO misplayed a little bit.
Yeah, he is going to be forced to TP back. Camper going to try to hold that wave as best he can. And worst news for A2 YOLO is he has no flash
Ooh.
and Gwen is on his side of the map. Rex's gets a nice chunk onto Habibi Poppy. Schmeelock going to have to join back up as potential 5 takes a good bit of damage, but again, just bit of trading in the bot lane. We'll see if the Gwen can maybe do anything as she finishes up her clear. Viego is coming down on the bot side. Habibi
Go
Poppy
for a dive.
running Ghost, no barrier available on the Jinx. They're going to only have 3
Oh,
melee minions as Rex is going to get knocked into the air. Schmeedlock trying to block the Spectrum while it still hits. And now Habibi Poppy trying to flash away. The tower kills potential 5. And the
no.
tower is not going to be able to get the second shot on Cool Blue. Schmeedlock, I don't
Wow.
think he's got any sort of vengeance in him. It looked a bit hairy, but they will take that on the side of the Chuds. But
Double kill?
Jason the other is walking back in, and I don't know what Rex and Mr. Cool Blue are expecting to do here except get snipped. Rex is giving over that one. Talia now moving down on the bot side of the map as well. See if they can find this Viego. Ryze is trying to play bodyguard and will do so quite effectively. Yeah, we do see Habibi
Yeah.
Poppy go down, lose all his sums.
Yeah, big scuffle in the bot lane. I think they got pretty lucky there, Mr. Cool Blue, able to dodge the last tower shot to not go down. And also they got lucky with the no execute or execute on trade kill. But I feel like it's like that's a good play by the Viego on the red side. But this top lane, I want to point out, Camper on duty, taking a lot of tower shots. I think something that didn't go noticed in the patch notes is that the tower shots or tower range increased by 5 units. I've been seeing so many players in this DMV rivals just trying to play on the edge of these towers and just not getting used to the new tower range.
Yes,
So
that
interestingly,
5 range, 15 range, it'll get you.
I
As
don't know. It feels like 100.
Schmeedlock is now getting run down by the Chukrams. Glitterland slows very pesky, and I mean, the Lulu does bring this kind of power into lanes. Like you said, Rakan kind of just has to seed a good bit. He's not as strong as an engaged champion, as an Alistar or Nautilus to try to really punish Lulu at all. He's just going to kind of get pushed in. And we're seeing the Aphelios Lulu do exactly what they want early on. We'll see if they try to exploit the Jinx, prevent her from scaling. So far, good stuff in the bot lane for the Chuds.
Yeah, that is a 15 CS lead, and it looks like they have the wave frozen. It is a damage item in the Serrated Dirk versus the Cull boots from the Jinx, going the super scaling build. Extra 600 gold from her Cull and 80 carry role quest now.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that extra gold can definitely affect a good bit of the game where you get different back timers. You don't have to greed as much for waves to get to your weird breakpoints of like a BF sword or perhaps in Rex's case, a collector as he gets up to that with the first item Dirk. Always nice, but meanwhile, back in the top lane, A2 YOLO stabilizing a bit up here. The wave is, again, just going to kind of get pushed into him. Sion has 4 AoE abilities, but he is still continuously under his tower against Volibear and those lightning claws. So, again, I think we just have two sides of the rift that are just going to try to survive what are going to be rough laning phases. And now that we have the Talia and Ryze unlocked with those roaming ultimates, we'll see if they get involved on any action.
yeah, as we see, just camper on duty, still winning his top lane. It's kind of expected that's going to go happen, but I think Viego's making his way top to maybe try and make a play if Camper goes on if he goes too aggressive here.
Yeah, Camper's flash is down for
Is he on
just
the
a
ward?
bit longer. He's going to try
He's
to
trying
go
to
for the
1v2.
play. He is knocked into the air,
R
stunned up,
buffer?
and
Oh.
he's going to get the
Oh
frenzy heal for
my.
a ton of HP back, but A2 YOLO
Oh.
this time survives on a sliver, and now the top lane is looking a good bit better for that Sion.
Yeah, I feel like Camper on duty's so unlucky there. The Chain Lightning looked like it was really able to finish off A2 YOLO and maybe give him the Triumph heal because that was a huge 320 heal from the Empowered W onto Sion. He really could have gotten that 1v2 kill if he had maybe buffered the Sion Q with the Unstoppable Volibear R, but it seems like he just got CC'd right before it went off. So almost a 1v2 kill, but he does go down. Gives the kill over to this Mr. Cool Blue. 2-0 on this Viego.
Yeah, I mean, the Viego pick was something I was a bit skeptical on, right? It doesn't have the great gank potential, it doesn't have the great carry potential of a lot of other jungle options. Needs kind of a lot of stuff to go right in a fight for him to really take over, but so far, Mr. Cool Blue making good on it, and now he's back up in the top lane again to punish the over-aggression that Camper wants to play with. He has his flash, but I don't think he's going to think his way out of this one. Or is he? As here comes the heals. And he does get a 1v2 kill. A2 YOLO thought he could just leave the Viego to his own devices, but he ends up paying his jungler for it.
Yeah, I feel like Camper on duty doing so much for his team right now because Habibi, Poppy, and Schmiedlock are taking it like, oh jeez.
Oh, that Infernal ult just barely not able to singe away at the rest of Schmiedlock's health bar. Jason either thought he could take away some gloves, but now we've got a Ryze ultimate coming down. Needlework onto 2, has the Shroud, but needs some help from his mid laner, Zero Domain, trying to keep the aggression going. Optic doesn't have a ton of mana or HP to really contribute as much as he would like. Rex is now flashing forward, gets the kill into Schmiedlock, potential 5, tanked at just the right time, but he still dies. It is a good bit of fighting across the rift, and now Mr. Cool Blue, he's now over to the bot lane. I don't think he's got a gank in him, though.
Really interesting that, not interesting, but like really good fights across the board. I feel like Rex's in potential 5 almost had that clean dive. I think Rex's, or potential 5 mistakenly tanked somehow because Rex's was under tower dealing damage with the Lulu ulti on him and somehow didn't have a tower range. So almost really good. And then Zero Domain realm warps towards the grubs to stop the take, forces Jason the other's flash, and then Hoptech has to Weaver's wall up to also match. And we see a trade in the top lane.
Yeah, we'll see Camper continue to try to be as aggressive in this lane as he can. The Sion, of course, going to be a lot better in those straight up 5-on-5 fights as the game goes on compared to the Volibear, who needs to run at an Aphelios, run at a Ryze. It's going to be a bit difficult for him if he cannot continue to build some kind of lead. I do want to point out, Hoptech joins that grub fight on a pretty sizable deficit in the health and mana department, so I think Zero Domain seems to be doing a fairly decent job in this lane. I think I mentioned that Talia has a bit more power earlier on to push in the waves. Doesn't have to wait 10 minutes for her first item to actually be useful. But it looks like Zero Domain doing perfectly fine for himself, getting those trade advantages that allowed them the confidence to contest those grubs. Even if they
Yeah,
now get cleaned up, Jason the Other makes it 3-0 in the grub department.
yeah, the repeated top attention from Mr. Cool Blue has really equalized the lane. You see that their only difference is 2 CS, and I feel like Sion now is just free farming, getting his free HP from his W passive. He's really off, like, he's not in a bad spot anymore, even though he's like always going to lose this matchup. He's not going to die on repeat, and
Yeah, but
these
Mr.
ganks
Cool Blue
keep
wants to
hitting.
put him in an even better spot, as this time Camper on
Oh,
Duty just had a bunch of vision on top side. It did not matter. Mr. Cool Blue able to once again visit his favorite spot on the Rift, it seems, up in the top side. Jason, the other going to try on the bot side as they
oh,
want to punish the
Schmiedlock.
flashless of Felios. Clean combo from Schmiedlock. A lot of healing, though, as a baby
Habibi
Poppy
Poppy's going to
may need to be
die?
careful. Rex is trying to just shred through him, but he's not able to do enough damage. Potential 5 now sure to fall as well. They give the kill over to the Gwen, and Jason the other not to be outdone in racking up these jungle kills.
Yeah, just really good cross map play from the side of the Shaitans. Like, they see the jungler's top, and I feel like Rexus and Potential 5 are too far pushed up with no like escape on their immobile AD. Hot Tech's able to roam down with no Weaver's Wall usage. And it looks like, I was going to say, Mr. Cool Blue is looking like this Volibear is a 7th camp on the map. Just keep going top, keep getting kills, but really good counterplay from the side of the Shaitans to even up the game. Just 300 goal difference at 12 minutes.
Yeah, still a very, very even game. We do have those first items coming through across the board. And Camper's going to continue to try to leverage some advantages here in this lane. Does have a lot of crystal on that tower to take here. As maybe not going to quite get the plates, but first items coming through. Nasher's going to be a very strong point for the Gwen. Collector for the Aphelios. So each team has their appropriate power points to play around. But Camper on Duty, he wants to make it about him. He may not have that first item, but he still wants to take whatever fight he can. It's the level 10. And A2 Yolo needs to pay a bit of respects even with that Hollow Radiance finished, as he's got a flash. Camper. It doesn't matter how many times Viego visits him. He wants to put pedal to the metal up there.
Yeah. Jason the Other is here to maybe cover him for the first time this game, but I think Jason the Other 3-0, he's up to match with Mr. Cool Blue, and every time Mr. Cool Blue's been up top, I think he's been farming, so Jason the Other has his Nasher's Tooth, his free boost, probably going for the new Sheen AP item. Interested to see if he can dish out a lot of damage this game.
Yeah, Rex is trying to do the
He's
same
under
as he gets
tower.
knocked around under tower. Had to flash back, even though I don't believe the snap traps were quite on top of him. Did block out his escape, and now Rex is still without
Jason the Other.
that flash now, as Schmiedlock is going to look with the quickness. Nice job with the wild growth, but the charm still connects.
Still dead.
And Jason the Other is going to put the needles into him. Even Hop Tech trying to get in on it. It is a split map if ever I've seen one across the last 13 minutes. But Camper gets a kill in the 1v2. He goes into a frenzied gouging up there in the top lane. And now he might just be able to take out A2 YOLO. There's no flash. There's no train. Home for the Scion. Camper says you can gank as many times as you like, but I will send you packing. As here comes a seismic shove to interrupt the Realm Warp. And now across the rift, the Shaitans are getting going.
Wow, the Shaitans pretty much just like an ace across the map, top to bot. They make a 4-man play on the bot lane, and then they kill the bot lane. And then Camper on Duty 1v2s with this Duskin Dawn healing 400 HP per W. Huge 1v2 double kill on the top lane. And then the entire team on the bot side just roam up and kill Zero Domain in the mid lane too. They are up 2k gold, turning this game into their favor. What a play by the entire team.
Yeah. With no flashes on Rexes, I'm curious to see if they even want to approach this dragon, as Jason the Other more than happy to fight. But he may have gone a bit too ahead of his team. He has to flash away, and now here comes Mr. Cold Blue with the Heartbreaker, and that fed Gwen is shut down. Bit of hubris there on Jason the Other. as I think this dragon is now going to be soundly secured by the Chuds.
Wow, camper on duty. I feel like he's if he.
He's
Oh
getting greedy.
my.
He got greedy. He didn't have the ult to disable the tower. A2 YOLO makes him pay for it. And now we're swinging back in the other direction. As that top lane solo kill comes in, the dragon comes in. Now 2-0 in that department for the big back Chuds.
Yeah, camper on duty and getting a little overzealous. I was about to say if he had his ulti, he could just clean dive, but I think the Chud's really good position because even though they're down like 500 gold, it's kind of nothing. They're up 2 dragons, and that's like the most important thing right now. There's no Otacon. Baron stands at 20, but like even if you get Baron, you gotta like we've seen games in this season where Baron or Dragon Soul has carried the entire game.
Yeah.
So I think 2 dragons for 500 gold, I'd take that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I mean, we've seen games so far in DMV where like you've got Lucian and Nami doing great in the early game. You secure 2 dragons, and then you lose the next 4 and you lose the game. So this is an Aphelios Lulu. Not going to fall off as hard. Going to be able to continue piling up. You're not just going to concede dragons if stuff starts to go wrong for you. You have some security blanket. You have some late game scaling. So having those 2 dragons in your back pocket will let them fight on whatever terms they like.
Yeah,
Speedlock likes some terms down here in the bot lane, but I mean, against Lulu's not going to be too much. We do have plays in the top lane as Camper may be getting a bit too aggressive. It's going to be a 2v2, but Mr. Cool Blue and A2 YOLO under no obligation to keep going. The Weaver's Wall is short. Does cut off the rise as Mr. Cool Blue. Someone's looking for something up here. Things are a bit tense. We'll see if any action boils over as both teams just gonna call it quits up there.
Yeah, a lot of things go wide. Jason the other ulted early and it had timed out, so he had to just throw his needles into the void. And I don't think any seismic shoves hit. Camper on duty had to go, had to ulti out. So like no engage really as they position around the tower, just trying to get a pick.
Yeah, we will see the Herald go the way of Jason, even with that bit of int over at the Dragon Pit. Is still a very strong champ, and now Zero Domain needs to get some phase rush speed out of here. Does have his Viego to run to, so nothing too much to worry about. Big thing about that mid lane quest is getting these upgraded boots in the mid game, right? Those top laners, those bot laners, the main rewards of their quest have not come in yet. It takes a while for those to really scale up, but mid lane, you get that big spike of the boots. We saw that magic shield come in for Zero Domain, and he soaked up the combo. As A2 YOLO trying to soak up maybe too much damage, but meanwhile on the bot side, nice buffer by Mr. Cool Blue.
Mana.
And now Camper has perhaps overextended. It is going to be a flash, smash, and A2 YOLO is going to turn this guy to ash. Maybe. Yep, he gets it done. No big frenzied healing for the Volley Bear. And Camper just continues to try to push the envelope maybe a bit too much in this early game.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Camper, I'm like, what is my team doing on the other side? And looks like they're attempting a play here.
Yeah, Rex's does have his flash back up, but the shove connects. Potential gets flicked and doesn't flash it. Jason the other now 5 kills on the Gwen.
Yeah, the crossfab is working for the Shaitans. They're getting the kills on their hyperscalers, the Gwen and the Jinx. The Talia is matching the Rise on roams on the opposite side. So gold funneled into top jungle for the Chuds, and then jungle AD for the side of the Shaitans. And I do think that the hyperscalers on the Shaitans will dish more damage, especially with no engage and a not tank jungler.
Yeah, I mean, this mid game is going to have to be where they start to put it together. 1 minute till that Infernal Dragon. Any key breakpoints you're looking at here before these teams decide whether or not to fight for the dragon?
I'm looking at Habibi Poppy. He doesn't have his Infinity Edge yet. He's sitting on a Call, Refill, and Doran's. But if you look at his counterpart Rex's, 2 items, Collector, IE, that's a lot of damage if you get the crits. As we see Camper on duty try to go for Zero Domain here.
Yeah, I mean, Zero Domain has Phase Rush, has some speed. Camper has his ult if he wants to use it. TP is available for him to try to join this fight, as is on Zero Domain. Cool Blown Potential 5 going to try to move in, but
Potential 5
not able to quite punish, as back to jostling over River Vision.
Yeah, there are 4 people here as they're fighting over some vision.
Yeah, Needlework comes out. Speedlock trying to engage, and the disengage cone for Mr. Coolblue, gets him out, but the train is looking for a station to pull up into, and Coolblue's flashing over, thinks he's got a BB Poppy in his sights, but the Jinx
Oh
kites it out.
no.
No Heartbreaker to be had. Now in the backline, Rex is under duress, as here comes the Volley Bear. Camper on duty gets his man, and now Potential 5 has to flash away. Jason, the other, tears him asunder, as now A2 YOLO has no backline to support his frontlining capabilities. He is flicked upon the rocks. He is killed where he stands. And it is the Shaitans getting a fantastic fight in their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, I mean, this was gonna be the turning point of the game. Third Dragon Point and Fertile Soul pretty impactful. And it just seems like the fight positioning for the side of the Chuds was not the best. They had no frontline for their Aphelios, and Camper on Duty had a beautiful flank on a flashless Aphelios that no one can peel for him because Mr. Coolblue just goes for the enemy AD, and then there's no peel, or like their comp has no peel like CC for this Volley Bear who's on his backline. And without the backline, I don't know really who's killing anyone else. So interesting fight approach and really good fight for the Shaitans.
Yeah, things definitely seemed a bit out of sync. Mr. Coolblue thought he had an angle to make a hero play, but I mean, even if you get the reset on the Jinx in that kind of position, doesn't quite feel like that swings the fight too much your way. As now we've got 2 items on the Volley Bear. He is feeling quite good. And the Shaitans opening up a bit of a 2k gold lead. And that gold lead, I have to imagine, is pretty much in the pockets of who they would want. They have a lot on this Gwen right now, about a 1k gold lead for Jason the other individually, and then about 1k for the Volley Bear. Yes, I mean, the bot lane didn't look good, but I mean, at this point, it's Habibi with a 1k gold.
Yeah, and I want to look at, like, I think Gwen is, like, the most important player in these team fights. Whether she can position her Gwen's immune ability well, because look at the side of the Chuds, they have no, like, safe damage to, like, hit her with when she's in her Shroud. Zero Demand and Rexus, if they're in that Shroud, they don't want to be in that Shroud. And if Jason the other playoffs it down, throws his needle, and then dashes towards the enemy carries, they can't hit her, and then she's doing infinite damage. So these team fights really gonna look at the Gwen W cooldown to see if they can kite it out correctly, and if Jason the other can just immune every source of damage and completely melt like a Viego or a Rise on the front line.
We are going to see Mr. Coolblue pay a visit to the bot lane here. A2 YOLO puts the same CC chain down that he has many times before. And no Frenzy healing this time. Needlework is not answered too well. There's a knock on
EP 42.
The tower is very low. They're able to take it. Coolblue trying to find a way out of this one. But he is going to fall. Wild Growth, not enough. As now they're just going to chase
Poppy,
on
reset.
in. Potential 5 is getting low. Here comes the Weaver's Well. Hoptech wants to continue the chase. Has the shove, but Sion has a lot of HP. He's going to get knocked around. He's going to get zapped. He's going to get thrown with some threaded volleys, but I don't think we're going to have anything too lethal for that big brick. And meanwhile, Rex's has got the Chakrams going in the mid lane.
Yeah, the Shaitan's just really overloading this bottom side, getting 2 kills in the tower, while Zero Demand and Rex is trying to trade back with the mid lane tower of their own. And looks like they're going to get the tier 2, but
a lot of damage on the Q and a bizarre flash from Rex's. They don't respect Hoptech getting here. They don't respect what Jason the other can do, even without his ulti. And it is 2 more dead for the big back Chuds.
Yeah, I feel like very ambitious overstay, because this looks like it's going to give over Baron, and with the gold lead that those 2 plays just created, I feel like the Shaitans are going to run away with it from this point on, especially since they don't even have Soul Point to play for, or Soul to pay for.
Yeah, we do see Camper trying to play Bouncer here, keep Mr. Coolblue away, and he may just kill him. He may just kill the Viego in his own house. As now Teleport's going to come through from the Sion. Baron's already been secured. And A2 YOLO just going to walk himself out of that one. Look at that. Look at that quest. Look at that Sion shield plus Teleport shield. Insane. How is it fair? It is, at least on Sion. On Renekton, maybe we could call. But either way, Jason the other, very strong here in this game. He has finished his oh-so-dashing hat up there and is going to look to take over this game. We've got Dragon in 50 seconds, and with no flash on Rex's, with how scary this Gwen is, I would be surprised if the Chuds elect to fight it.
Yeah, I feel like the time for Viego to be like an assassin. Oh,
Oh
Rex is
dear, Rexes did not think there was a Gwen around. He gets hit by but one needle. And from there, he's gone. Didn't have a Lulu by him, didn't have a Scion by him. And that, if they weren't going to fight before, they certainly are not now. They have Zero Domain in topside trying to get some gold back, but the siege will continue in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think Zero Domain just up too far as A2 Yolo taking a lot of damage.
And we can maybe
Uh,
talk about what a lot quantifies as in this case.
okay.
Um, he's doing his job. He's doing his job. Would have liked to have Rex as there to some extent, but either way is going to be Dragon for the Shaitans, getting those two Infernals. And we'll see if there's anything else really for the Chuds to do on the map. They got the top lane tower, and maybe... No, you just got a turtle against this siege. I'm not sure if they can really leave Zero Domain in the sides for too
Sneaky.
long, as some cheeky damage there. But now he's getting flung back.
And he's
We
probably
will
dead.
maybe get a stopwatch out, but with Gwen here, he does actually die decently fast. And A2 YOLO wanted a cheese play in the brush, but
Uh-oh. Habibi
it's
pop. Oh.
no, he's fine. He's fine. Fine. Never a thing to worry about.
Yeah, interesting sneaky Q for death trade,
Where
but
is my Talia going?
I think it might be Raps anyways because the lead they have against this team comp. Oh, Rex is going for a play in the mid lane.
Hop
Hop
got a
tech.
bit greedy with the Weaver's Wall into the mid lane. Now gets tagged
He's
up by the
down.
green gun. He gets crit down and shut down, but Camper's found his mark in the fight. And Rex's is dead once again. The Aphelios got off to a great start, but the immobile Moon Man is now 3-7. He has not been able to stay safe in these fights. Another tower falls in the mid lane. Though on top side, I mean, we've got the split pushing jungler of Mr. Cool Blue, and he might die. Gwen does not have ulti, but I don't think Viego... No, he's got flash. He's got ult. He's perfectly fine. Overreaction. But still getting some side lane towers, staying as afloat as they can on the side of the Chuds.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of their Baron, it's a 6K gold lead. They're tied True Drakes apiece, so they've survived, but to what cost? Because I feel like this Viego's at a point where it's not especially useful.
Speaking of
And
being
he's just
useful,
Jesus.
evades the needlework. Did have some shielding from potential 5, but yeah. Loses flash, loses ult, and Jason the other does lose his as well. So maybe that will mean something in the next fight if he cannot just pop his target immediately. And potential 5 trying to jostle for vision, but he just dies. Immediately taken down, and now Habibi Poppy trying to get some vengeance for all that happened in lane. Rex says that flash is not where it needs to be. Habibi Poppy goes godlike. A2 YOLO once again dies after his carry, and that is not going to do a Scion any good as the Shaitans look to push in for game 1 win.
Yeah, I mean, really, like clean cleanup after a few good team fights from the side of the Shaitans as they're gonna put the finishing touches on this game. I don't think there's much that Chuz can do here. Zero Domain trying to at least trade a hop tech, get some KDA points, but statement game from the Shaitans. Like they had a fist fight of an early to mid game, and then mid game just map movements and cashing out the side of the Chuds really put them ahead. Got Baron, stopped the drag stack win con, and just powered forward from there.
Yeah, great stuff from the Shaitans. I got a bit concerned, I will say, when Camper kept dying on repeat, getting way too aggressive in lane. But when those team fights happened, he found the exact guy he needed to. He got the Aphelios, he got the Rise, went, did his job. Didn't matter that Viego was able to kill him 6 times. Viego didn't do much with that. So definitely good to see the Silk Road Shaitans perform on some of these more spicier picks in the Volibear, in the Gwen.
Yeah, I'm thinking next game, if Camp Rondu is going to play another champ like that, and he is going to be that seventh camp, they should just be picking a different champ than Viego. Because, like, Viego's one of those champs that, high key, the gold that you get on him does not matter. He's still going to want to reset. Like, I think if they pick, like, another carry champ, like maybe a Kindred, that could assist more with damage, or just, like, not a Viego, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
We'll see if they opt for those in the next drafts.
Yeah.
Take it away, Shiv.
Yeah, but for now, it is a 1-0 lead to the Shaitans. Going to look to finish it off in the best of three. Reminder that for this DMV, we are implementing the fearless drafting position. So there will be no Gwen. There will be no Volibear. And they will have to maybe find something else. Maybe we can see a Rex's Draven. Maybe we can see Hoptech's signature Galio as those picks get a bit more pinched. But we will take a short break before getting into game number 2. Okay, I'm back. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was. It was mostly the Viego. The Viego was the main. Hello, everyone, and welcome back here for game number 2 between the Big Back Chuds and the Silk Road Shaitans. I just need to pick some more sayable names. But either way, we are away in pick and ban here. A lot of similar bands. I believe those are the exact same 6 bands to start us off. But the Chuds going to start us off with a B1 Lucian.
Gonna be a Lucian Nami. I think Lucian on this patch is quite good. A lot of the Essence Reaver champions are happy with the Sheen change because they didn't need the mana on every auto. So they're happy with the Sheen change. Looking for a more aggressive Enchanter bot lane probably, as we see the Varus from the side of the Shaitans. And I know that Habibi Poppy does enjoy playing the Varus. I think my experience he did usually play on hit, but maybe I've seen Lethality, Poke Varus is more popular in Pro, so we'll see which side he goes for.
Yeah, it does feel like with the bot lane quest, getting you that influx of gold, getting you more gold over time. It takes a while for that to kind of materialize in a lot of crit 80 carries just because how expensive those items are. Something like Lethality Varus when you're building Yomus, Zereldas, Collector. Like, those items are substantially cheaper. You can hit those spikes faster with the quest coming in for you as well. So we'll see how he wants to build here in game 2. But we do get the top lane picks now locked in. Cassante on the Shaitan side and Cho'Gath for the Chuds.
Yeah, I think Kasante Cho'Gath top lane picks very, very early. Um, I'm not really sure how this matchup goes. I would imagine Kasante wins. He kind of just has to wail on him, but maybe things have changed. But I know more about bot lane. Lucian Braum, solid lane, proc the passive really fast. If people miss position, you can stun them, deal a lot of burst damage, quick trades, quick all-ins. I like the lane. But we see Nico on the side of the Shaitans.
Yeah, Nico, a pick that was leaked to me as something that the Shaitans did not like. I did not think they were going to pick it. Thought there was some internal turmoil there, but I mean, I'm already forgetting names in my old age.
Schmiedlock?
Schmiedlock. I was gonna say Schmiedel. Schmiedlock gonna win the internal conflict and get that Nico. Very strong champion, even with the degenerate tower tanking finally removed. I'm not just saying it's degenerate because I watched my boys die to it in the most depressing thing I've ever seen. Very strong champion, still with the R Flash Pop Blossom in her kit. I don't know what that was. But still very strong with the R Flash in her kit. And, however, Lucian does have some mobility to still deal with that. We are away with more mages taken off the board. No Ahri, no Syndra, no Ziggs, and no Mbessa, as Wukong will be likely the pick for Jason the Other.
Yeah, I think switching up the bans in R5, they weren't as worried about like the control mages like Ori, but Wukong Ori is up now for Hoptech and Jason the Other. Seems like a pretty good combo.
Orianna is banned away as it was in game number 1 by the Shaitans. But that Victor did slip through this time. So that will be the pick for Zero Domain over in the mid lane. Definitely can be very strong at just taking his time, get through the front line of the Cassante and the Wukong. We'll see what they want to round it out with in the jungle role. Some flexibility here for the side of the Chuds, and could be a spicy carry pick, perhaps, for Mr. Cool Blue. And we will get a Diana in the jungle.
Yeah, seems like a very strong go-in comp for Zero Domain's team. Diana wants to go in, cost the Moonfall so the Victor can follow up with the big circle and hopefully get Arcane Victor. But Cassidon being hovered as a counter pick to the double AP mid jungle.
There's no way. Because that guy's up. Because the Azir is up. The bird is the word. And that's going to be the pick for Hoptech. Did consider picks that could maybe punish the fact that he's against double magic damage in the mid and jungle positions. But just goes for his tried and true there in the Azir to fill out the rest of the Shaitan's comp. How we feeling about either of these sides here as they wrap things up?
I think this is definitely more even than last game, but like I think the Shaitans definitely have more creativity. Nico and Wukong can engage from really creative angles, whilst the Chuds have a way more like straightforward comp of Diana go in, Victor like do your stuff, and then Lucian dashes in, tries to burst people. What I am a little confused on is how Cho'Gath is kind of supposed to play in this comp. I think it was picked for lane, but in team fights, kind of just gets to walk around and silence people, try to hit Qs. Not like super excited for this Cho'Gath, or I'm a bit worried for him in team fights. But I'm really looking at this Nico because you always got to look at Nico. You got to be counting the minions, looking for why is there a wolf crossing my mid lane tower out of vision for some reason, carrier style. Like there's some weird stuff you can do as Nico.
Yeah, gonna have to keep their wits about them to keep the Chameleon at bay. They do have at least, like, you have to believe that Victor is gonna have the Roa stacking, the Seraph stacking, at least the Roa. So he'll have some HP to endure the initial burst as that immobile mage that can come through from the Nico. Lucian will try his best to react and dash away to that from that R flash, try to play out the fight from there. But
Yeah, I do
can
want to
be
point
a
out that the carry, like the carries in this game, are not extremely mobile. Varus, no way to escape. Victor, no way to escape. And then if you're looking at the engage, like Diana gets on a Varus very fast. Azir shuffle on a Victor has to blow flash. I'm looking at Azir shuffle plus Wukong gank at level 6, blowing this Victor flash into like play some objective, also go on the Victor. Just push your buttons first so this Diana can't blow up your Varus, because your Varus should be way in the back poking from out of range, and then they can capitalize on someone else, right?
Yeah. They do have that kind of hyper carry in the mid lane of the Azir. So BB Poppy does have the flexibility to go lethality if he wants, and trust that the front line of the Braum and the Cho'Gath will be shredded by the Azir. And so that he can maybe get some poke down before he gets the moon falling on top of him, as it were. Because
Yeah, it's gonna be
Diana
on
can
this.
abuse all those same items that we saw Gwen make use of on the other side in the last game. And so we'll see how Mr. Cool Blue can perform on a more carry champion of pick rather than something like the Viego, where needed his team to get that first reset and it never really happened.
Yeah, not a lot of resets this game. I feel like both teams are just going for let's do enough damage or kill one guy so they can no longer contest the objective that we're on. I feel like that's the style of comp that are both kind of playing. Habibi Poppy with the poke. Well, yeah, he has comment, so he's going poke. It's going to be on potential 5 to really Braum shield these Varus Qs in the posturing phases of team fights. Hop Tech going to look for soldier poke, and then Zero Domain going to look for lasers. Rex is going to be looking in for dashes and just really poking and prodding. I don't think this is going to be a reset wipe type of game.
Yeah, it can be very long, drawn out fights and see who can get the engage first. As we're into game number 2, the Silk Road Shaitans looking to finish off the Big Back Chuds after a strong game 1 performance. The Chuds putting their power in maybe some different strategies this time, not purely waiting for the late game. They've got a Lucian, they've got a Diana who wants to scrap, and we'll see how it's going to play out on the Rift as both junglers starting on their respective blue buffs.
Yeah. I think this bot lane will be pretty spicy. Braum, Lucian, very good. Like you have to play carefully as a double ranged bot lane into a Braum, because you get tagged by a Q and Lucian dashes on you, you're fairly squishy. And if Rexus lands enough Qs through the wave to poke. Oh, see?
As they're doing it
Speedlock
right
might get
now,
stunned here, but
stacking
he's
up
really
that
far up.
concussive blows. And so far, Rexes did take a good bit of damage to the minions, so Schmiedlock and he going to start chugging some potions, start getting their health back up. But yeah, double Comet here on the side of the Shaitans means they definitely want to continue poking out and get some leads in this lane. But they do need to be conscious because Lucian, we saw him first picked. We kind of expected it to be Nami. We expected it to be a lot of lane power. Not quite the case. And we'll see if Habibi and Schmiedlock can make good on what they want from this heavy poke lane.
Yeah, we're just mostly focusing on the bot lane here, but some good poke landing out to trade back some of the HP. Schmiedlock used 1 potion after that trade early, and Potential 5 has used both his potions, so has Rexus. So Habibi Poppy and Schmiedlock winning the HP war because they're poking. And they also look like they're winning the CS war, as they have a huge wave under, and I think Habibi Poppy should be a little bit up.
We do see a lot of scrapping in the mid lane as well. They've popped all their pots there in kind as Azir, he's gonna get flashed on, but it is, just barely enough damage. I'm guessing Airy came in right as Spectator decided to pan away. That is Zero Domain with a solo kill.
Yeah, Zero Domain just solo killing Optex, I guess his main. I don't know how much he's played it this season, but one of the champions he is most known for. Huge solo kill, especially when they're both scalers and he just gets off to the races.
Yeah,
Top flash
is
zone.
going to be very nice for him. He'll have that extra Sapphire Crystal to stay sticking in that lane. That is one of the things people can maybe attack against Victor is that high mana cost on the E. But Mr. Tech not looking as good there. Does at least have his flash. We'll see if maybe they can punish Zero Domain not having that summoner when level 6 comes around. Both junglers just
Hmm.
completing full clears, but on the bot side, it's a flash in.
Oh,
Habibi Poppy's gonna get caught out. Nice job by Rexes to flash over the tangled barbs,
barrier.
but do they have enough damage? Yes,
Nope.
they do. Tower's getting heated up, but Rex, what?
Rextus.
I
Oh
incredibly
my.
confused. I'm going to assume the minions made him path that way, and he did not
Yeah.
intend to do that. Might be too generous, but both 80s are dead all the
No.
same.
I think that was pure minion block. Rexus, I mean, really well played by Potential 5. He actually got the door to block the Nico route that would have stopped the follow-up on the stun. I think Rexus just got unlucky with the minion block. Can't really do much. He's just trying to walk around. Too many fat chud minions in his way, unfortunately. And turns out to be a 1-for-1 on what should have been a good play, unluckily.
Things also turning good in the mid lane, continuing to be good for Zero Domain, and he is getting the better of the Azir in the trades. Azir, there are times when he's in the meta and he just ends up being a dominant early game, late game, mid game, everything champion.
Whoa.
They have nerfed his early game a good bit throughout the past year, so can be bullied out a bit more by Victor, who has strong trading with the Q, shield, and speed, and with, of course, the E being able to get good range poke. Potential 5 maybe taking a bit more damage than he would like. Do have the item advantage for the Lucian, so we'll see how much Rexes can really push that.
Yeah, maybe probably going for the Manamune first. No lethality. Oh, I guess he's just sitting on tier and going lethality. But it does just not a lot of con stats compared to the call fields on the side of the Evolution. He is up CS, and the poke is hitting, so they're not that far down in this lane. As potential 5 goes pretty low.
Yeah, we do
Oh,
have the
Camper
top
dodges the
laners
Q.
trading a good bit. Camper maybe trying to line up a Q3, and Tofo's not getting the job done there, and now a 2 YOLO should be safe. We have Diana sticking around the bot side. Jason, the other, was looping around himself after recalling. It's going to be a dragon start from the Diana, but Rexes without a flash.
And
Schmiedlock could
Jason the
look
other
for a,
gaking.
Schmiedlock could look for a flash tangled barbs, but don't know what Jason the other is quite looking for. He's going to peel back to the Dragons. Now more trading in the bot lane, but Diana getting very low, forced to flash out of the pit, as meanwhile Potential 5 gets sniped out by the arrow of a baby Poppy, and Cool Blue dies as well. Jason with a solo kill of his enemy number.
Yeah, I mean, Jason the other, I feel like Wukong just... Oh,
Oh, and now they're
no
looking
flash.
mid. Double ult combo, but is it going to be enough damage? Second
No
cyclone
damage?
comes out, and it is
Nice.
going to be enough. The tower not heating up enough for a return kill, so they punish the flashless Victor in a world tour for the side of the Shaitan.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the exact play I said pre-game. It's Hop Tech goes in with this shuffle, and we get a Wukong Cyclone, and this guy either blows his flash or doesn't have flash and dies. Not really his fault, but I would have liked to see Mr. Cool Blue maybe try and cover the play. To be fair, he did just die on Dragon before, but that is which is what happens when you have a stronger dueling jungle who can force the enemy jungler off of Dragon and even solo kill him. So Jason the other beautiful play executes the pre-draft strategy that everyone knows happens when you're doing Azir into a mobile mage. And 2 to 4 up to 1,000 gold. The Shaitan's good advantage again.
Yeah, things are good here in the Roads of the Shaitans. We're going to see if any further scuffles come out around this dragon, as Mr. Cool Blue was interrupted on it his first time around and ends up dying. Jason the other just going to look like he's clearing up bot to top, so don't think the Shaitans are going to devote too many resources to that dragon.
Yeah, both are junglers are mirrored. Jason the other pathing towards top, and looks like Mr. Coolblue does have his ultimate available, but and there's no flash on Habibi Poppy still for a little bit, so maybe he can clear his bot jungle, look for a gank on the immobile Varus bot, but I think Shreedlock is keeping tabs, keeping vision on Mr. Coolblue, so they know where the enemy jungler is, and kind of denying any surprise or angle that he might have.
Mhm. Absolutely. As top lane, not as much of a shenanigan-filled time as Camper had last game on the Volibear. Some sound trading from the different flavors of tanks up there. Chemtech Dragon is taken by Mr. Coolblue. No grubs yet on the map to really respond with. So Jason the Other just going to continue clearing through his camps. As Zero Domain going to get flashed
Oh,
on. Good reactions. And now with the Arcane Storm summoned up, Top Tech is
he's
going to get
dead.
solo killed for a second time. As Camper knocked around by the Rupture. A2 YOLO. It does have the feast, but he's not doing much here in this fight. Camper should be staying strong, but Zero Domain really starting off strong here in game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. Well, not the problem, but like Azir, he went for the flash stream and shuffle, but it just if it's not in the tower and you don't have a soldier, he doesn't have damage to out damage the Victor. So Victor trades flashes and just dumps his kit into Azir, who's just walking around, can't really match the damage and picks up the solo kill. I think Optech saw the play, but once outplayed, he couldn't really uh, do anything. So I think he could have just not went for the play and just farmed, and he would have been happy. But did a little skill check on Zero Domain, and Zero Domain passed.
Yeah, great stuff there from Zero. Does complete that Luden's Echo, so not the Black Fire build where he's going to really focus on the Kasante Wukong. Instead, getting that Luden's, going to try to get good poke through with that E onto the more squishier members. I have been fooled.
Yeah.
I've been fooled many times into thinking this top lane will result in anything. This is just a bit of trading. I
Oh,
think I think I,
that's
I
good.
think I think we can pan away, but this time the Q3 hits
Nope.
from Camper.
Oh, you
Rupture
didn't
is
know that?
evaded, and A2 YOLO is going to be able to walk this one out.
I'm very surprised that Camper on Duty didn't just press R to immune the Q there, because it seemed like he would have reset his W and had a lot of damage and at least blown flash from A2 Yellow. But I guess good play by Camper on Duty in general. He was able to avoid most of the ruptures. Really good trade, and now he has a lot of pressure on this top side. Maybe Wukong can come up for a dive. But I like your pointing out the Luden's choice from the Victor, because I feel like Blackfire Torch means he's really trying to burn through like just Camper. But
Oh, but
oh
for
my,
now they're trying
flash
to burn down Habibi
glacial.
Poppy. They throw everything down. Cool Blue's in on top of him, and Schmiedlock dies. Habibi dies, and now the bot lane is swinging the way of Rex's and potential 5.
Yeah, beautiful gank from Mr. Coolblue. I feel like Habibi Poppy Schmiedok just no vision, it looks like, because Potential 5 got the slow, like the flash, beautiful engage by him, but I think Habibi Poppy and Schmiedok were a bit far up with no vision there.
Yeah, but here's that dive on the
But
top
that pop.
side. Camper's taking up a
Emperor on
lot.
duty?
Does get some healing, and he will
Oh!
survive. Just barely. Quest completion on top, and sides getting just traded out as Zero building himself a nice CS lead here in the mid lane as well for the Chuds.
Yeah, the Chud's really fighting back in this game. Oh,
Now we're going to get some
engage.
dueling here.
Basically, there's no R.
First items completed for both of these guys, but the level lead is there for Jason the Other. Does have to call it after seeing Zero Domain. So both sides just get into a good old-fashioned fist fight. But they'll be able to retreat, take their Krugs, take their camps, and move on with their lives.
Yeah, I feel like um Zero Domain, he's really dominating this lane with this Ludens. If you want Blackfire, it signals to me he's trying to burn through Camper on duty, but with Ludens, Hoptech has no chance of winning pretty much any trade. So Hoptech just has to like concede the wave every time, and we see it where Mr. Coolblue is just able to fight Jason the Other because he knows he has mid prio and the enemy mid is not as strong as his mid. So Zero Domain, large pressure point, and letting Mr. Coolblue get to places on the map first with that blocking as well. So real power point for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. Does get his mid lane quest and boots down as well. does feel like a bit of greed here in the build. Like we've pointed out, the Luden's Echo, not the traditional one, but good for lane, good for poking out. Also goes for the Spellslinger shoes. I am a big fan of the Lucidity boots because we've pointed out that he can just get shuffled a lot. Get 10 extra
Mhm.
summoner haste on that flash with the upgraded boots. Can definitely feel very nice on the Victor to evade the Wukong, evade the shuffle in these big fights. But for now, Jason the Other is going to
Chase him
get in
up.
on top of him. Hop Tech shuffles
Whoa, hop
air
tech!
as Mr. Cool Blue now hitting the Moonfall onto Jason the Other, forcing him to flash over the wall. And Hop Tech going to have to slide out with his attendants and not the play as they drew it up.
Yeah, a little, I don't know, flub there from HopTech. I mean, Caps did it this morning. We let the Azirs go today, I guess. Maybe it was bad Azir day globally, but not how they wanted that to go. Jason the Other has to blow his flash and his R, so not a lot of playmaking gonna come out from the Shaitans this time around. And HopTech's back to farming.
Oh, we do have a fight on bot
Dragon.
side as Pop Blossom is going to be used. Only hits onto the Braum, but that
Oh
might
my
be enough.
god!
Potential 5 able to get away. Hoptech slides in, finishes
HopTech!
the job. Doesn't have a shuffle, but
Oh!
has some good damage.
Oh!
Mr. Cool Blue stays alive, but Baby Poppy trying to hunt him down in the pit. But the
No
Crescent
way.
Slash gets the double. Jason going to try to pick him up with the flash over
Oh,
the
no
wall.
way.
Clone Bonk is enough. So Jason the Other is able to move up to 4-0. He should be able to get himself out of danger here as well. Through it all, it is 2 for 1 and Dragon to the side of the Chuds. Excuse me, 2 for 2 as Potential 5 died as well.
Yeah, once again, no.
No,
Once
no, no.
again, I feel
We've
like
invaded too many times on this top side. You can't get invested. Nothing's happening.
well, I'm getting invested though because A2 YOLO is actually starting to win this lane. Cho'Gath is like tank buster because like he just gets free like he gets free sustain and just by CSing, and he is starting to win out on these trades. He just stands there and CSs and heals. But I want to point out that fight in this fist fight, drag fight, solo ulti by Schmiedlock onto Braum, but then Habibi Poppy just explodes like 60 to 70% of Braum's HP bar. But unfortunately, it has like Hoptech has to swoop in, trade his life for a Braum, and then Diana Triumph heals, so Habibi Poppy just can't finish him off. And then Jason the Other does follow him over the wall with his little
Oh,
W dash,
here
but
we
we
go.
see no flash Victor. He's probably dead. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I will say I don't think the Summoner Shoes would have gotten him out of this one, but the Q
Oh.
movement speed might be enough to get him out regardless until Jason the Other gets in. But oh, the
Oh!
shield is there. Hoptech
Nah.
burns the flash to lock it up. Zero Domain buys as much time as he can, but falls
Ooh.
all the same.
Okay, you want to pan bot? This is not. Oh no, we
No, no, no,
have
we're panning top. We're
two
panning
red
top.
team
Here it
members
is.
coming up.
This time they're gonna get him. As here comes the all out. A2 YOLO trying to walk
No shuffle
away.
though.
There's no shuffle and
shuffle.
no Jason the Other. So once again, nothing to be done in the top lane, but some stuff to be done in the bot
Oh.
lane. As Mr. Cool
Wait,
Blue
what
sweeping
the?
in, the Pop Blossom isn't gonna do anything nearly good enough. Mr. Cool Blue now 4 kills on the Diana.
Yeah, Mr. Cool Blue, good position. I would have preferred to see that he went on the Varus because I feel like Varus had no flash and is just as mobile and less valuable than the Nico, but still good play. Trades the Rift Herald for a kill on bot and Wave Crash. I think they're gonna get another plate, and looks like they're gonna summon the Herald in this top lane. Jason the Other's pushing A2 YOLO off this wave. Looks like they're
Diana
gonna try and kill the tower and dive.
Diana's making her way up here. So the Baron recall of the Herald will be enough to get Jason out of there. I am a bit surprised at the Herald usage in top. Cassante, not quite the... I mean, I say it now, but he'll do some discussing things later on. Not quite the menace, not quite the
Uh-oh,
place you want to
Speedlock.
put your gold. But meanwhile,
Shuffle.
Schmiedlock sneaks in to the mid lane, and with the shuffle, they get the kill onto Zero Domain. Camper teleports back up to the top side, and nice play by Schmiedlock, but now his AD carry is
Uh-oh.
exposed. BB Poppy trying to evade some shots from the culling, and will stay afloat.
Yeah, like Hoptech's actually ahead in this lane now, just from his team. Like, is it Jason the Other or Speedlock coming on, like coming through these angles to just bully this flashless Victor. No matter how good you play on this Victor, you can't like position without a flash against CC. So, oh, Pepper on duty
Yeah, this
is
time
able
the
to.
Moonfall onto Camper. Does have a lot of magic resist in the kit. It was a full magic topside,
Oh.
so he is able to walk himself out of the entire lane. and he does lose the flash in the process.
Yeah, good gank by Mr. Coolblue in the top lane. Yeah, good point pointing out three magic damage champions in the top side for the Chuds. But I want to point out this Lucian. He has two items, and he's got his I can dash forever and chase down forever type of items. So he is going to pump out a lot of damage against this no armored uh, anyone on the Shaitans.
Certainly going to be a threat. We do have Hoptech making some hay in this game. He's got his Nashers now. Big power point for the Azir. As we do have Dragon up in 20 seconds. We'll see how the teams want to position for it.
Yeah, and here we are seeing Camper on Duty really starting to struggle in this matchup. It doesn't matter how much damage he's doing
Well, he's
because
going to
A2
try to
Yellow
do a
can just
bit more
eat
with
him.
the all-out.
Oh, he's no. Oh,
A2 Yolo does not have the chomp to take a good bite of him, but the minions
it
help
doesn't
him more
matter.
than enough. Now it's a play in the bot lane as Pop Blossom is going to hit the Braum.
Oh
Rex is able
my.
to evade it and the Tangled Barbs. Now trying to dish some damage back with the Culling. But with that pick in the bot lane, probably going to convert into an Ocean Drag.
Yeah, I feel like I would have liked to see the Chuds really play for this dragon more. They kind of made this mistake last game too, where they stacked the early two dragons. But Soul Point is really important to grab. Like, and it's Hextech Soul, uh one of the most powerful drags in the game. Like, you hit a minion and you slow the rest of the team. It's pretty OP in my opinion.
Mhm.
But like AC2 A2 YOLO is like fine in his lane. I feel like I would have liked to see Mr. Coolblue play for this dragon, contest the enemy jungler, especially with your strong Lucian, to try and get that third Drake.
Does feel like that they got pushed out a little bit, lose the Braum, and then, Mr. Cool Blue saying, hey, we don't need this. We got those two first dragons locked in earlier. We can play for top side. I'll share some tower gold with my Cho'Gath and get that Rift Maker into both junglers. Now with two items as Baron making his way onto the Rift. He does not have to take an extra 5 minutes to wake up in the morning now that Otacon is not taking up space in the house. But Habibi Poppy trying to push in on the bot side. The poke, of course, is going to fall off. He'll spike up a bit when that man immune gets
Oh,
completed and transformed. But it will be probably 3 minutes, 50 seconds till we see any real action. Not sure if either team wants to be too aggressive around these outer towers.
yeah, Habibi Poppy playing really aggro in this lane. I feel like he has to be a little bit careful because if Rexus dodges just a little bit of damage, he can kind of run him down, I feel. But both supports making their way back to the bot lane, and junglers are both mid. So mid tower goes down. And I think they're gonna, I don't know. I think Camper on Duty wants to get this tower, but AC2 Yellow just does not care about this Cassante champ. He's cosmetic
Oh,
at
but we
this
got
point.
yeah, but we got a Cyclone down here onto Mr. Cool Blue. He does not want to moonfall just one guy, but he may have to because Jace the other is taking him to task, and the snipe over the wall
Oh!
helps get the kill. Potential 5 now puts up the door. That
Oh
shuffle
my
missed
God!
somehow. As Hop Tech is now in a whole lot of danger. Pop Blossom for a bit of peel. As
Oh
the
my
Arcane Storm
Hop Tech!
is going to reset. Rexes, though, had to flash in. Can't get the finishing blows onto Habibi Poppy. Zero Domain trying to ascend here. Puts out a Gravity Well and forces Schmiedlock to flash. Chasing in onto Jason, but he's locked up by some Tangle Barbs. A whole lot of stuff flying around the Rift, but it is overall advantage to the Shaitans.
Really, like, deep fight. Started by Jason the Other having a really good catch on Mr. Coolblue on his red. Zero Domain TP's top onto Camper, but nothing happens. Recap of the fight. Hop Tech, another swing and a miss on the Azir Shuffle. He blew his flash too, and then he died to the Victor ult, so not a great fight from our Adam Silver here.
I'm going.
But Habibi...
I'm
You got-
wondering
you're
if like the wall was too big, so but like I think they still knock up the enemy to some extent, and they end up on the other side. Not the great stuff that you want to see, but either way, he is going to continue to scale up. He's made up some of that CS deficit that Zero Domain was able to build up in lane. We did hear from For You to Envy yesterday that he was coached a bit by Hop Tech on how to not die outside of lane and how to actually continue building leads or coming back from deficits in the mid game. The Hop Tech making sure that even though that lane didn't go too well, he's still just as relevant in these fights as his opposite number. But Speedlock,
Speed block.
not going to be too relevant as he gets popped down with his Pop Blossom.
Wait, Habibi
Chain's not
Poppy's
going to
dead.
spread now. Habibi Poppy's getting chased down. Tower falls. Double kill for Rex's. And Hop Tech is going to look for some kind of angle back to safety. But Jason the other camper,
Are they really
I'm
posturing
not
to
sure
fight
if
this?
they want to fight.
3v5.
It is a 3v5 that
3v5
Jason the other
big
wants
bros.
to take onto Zero Domain with the Cyclone.
That's
But
crazy.
Glacial Fisher is there. Zero Domain survives. Potential 5 escapes as well with the stand behind me. Camper is going to stay afloat here as well.
I mean, they
He's
can chase
soaked
him
up
down.
so much damage. A lot of tools are down, but the slide, glide, and shuffle is still available. Sundisk goes out in the mid lane. 45 seconds till Dragon, and a lot of stuff used from both sides.
I mean, the 3v5 was an interesting choice, but the result is that they cannot go back to Baron even with in that 3v5 position. So really playing on the limits here from the Shaitans to lose the least possible after being a little bit greedy on that mid play. Rexus and Zero Domain putting out so much damage, and Rexus with this infinite E cooldown build is really cleaning up these fights very well.
Oh,
I think A2 YOLO playing these fights just unkillable as this huge meatball on the front line.
Yeah, and he's going to look to turn Habibi Poppy into spaghetti as now potential 5 might be caught here alongside his jungler. The Pop Blossom hits onto 2,
Ooh.
and they can't even really jostle for position.
Trade,
Nice job
though.
by Rex to grab 1 kill back. Now throws out the calling as Jason the other may want to retreat, but he's got Cassante now to soak up the bullets. A2 YOLO can only create so much space, can only rupture so much ground, but now here comes Zero Domain just to get swept under the rug. And the Shaitans get the initial pick and punish anyone for staying around.
Yeah, they catch the Chuds rotating into position. Really good catch by Speedlock. And then Habibi Poppy with a huge arrow over the top to do so much damage. Speedlock does trade his life, but completely worth trade. It's completely stopping the drag stacking in its tracks. Hop Tech's in the game, actually ahead of his counterpart after getting solo killed twice, and dishing so much damage to the front line of the Chuds.
Absolutely. They're able to grab that second Hex Tech Dragon. Both games, we saw the early two Drakes go the way of the Chuds into losing every dragon that came after that. Might be telling the same tale here in game number 2. Is a modest gold lead for the side of the Shaitans. But I think if you want some kind of solace for the side of the Chuds, didn't really lose any big summoners in that fight. They still have full sums on Rexes. They'll have the Victor Flash soon enough. They can try to maybe find some windows for plays. They can continue to not be scared of getting vision around this Baron.
Yeah, what is not modest here is Jason the Other and his massive KDA. 8-0-5, up 2,000 gold. I think Jason the Other has been in a lot of the action this game, and he's making all the right plays, it feels like. Stopping the Baron with the catch on the Diana bot lane. He's just frontlining, doing a million damage, playing these fights pretty immaculately for his team, I think. I'm really excited to see what he does in the next few minutes to try and win his team this game.
Yeah. For now, they're just going to posture around mid lane. I do think Jason the Other also just showed like pretty solid understanding of what his role in this game is. He knew that before Diana kind of locked in that first item, he could take the fight 1v1 on that dragon. He knew when he got Triforce, he could start making plays around the map. Didn't greed out for anything that wasn't within the bounds of what his champion excels at. Didn't try to do something too crazy, and that results in him going 8-0-5, finding big cyclones, finding good damage in these fights. And the other member, or excuse me, the opposite member on the side of the Big Back Chuds, Mr. Cold Blue, hasn't found those critical moonfalls. He is at 3 items. He is strong, but now Jason the Other goes in with a Cyclone onto Rex's, but now he's getting chunked out. He's losing all his HP, and he's shut down. The shuffle hits onto 2 carries, and Zero Domain is gone. Rex's is buried beneath the sands of the Emperor, and Habibi Poppy just gets to take his time, stack up the W, get the triple kill, and A2 YOLO, a similar sight to his Scion from last game, as his backline is nowhere to be found. And, I mean, he'll be fine. He'll be fine, but a massive fight in favor of the Shaitans.
Yeah, Jason the Other seems like he goes in a little early and he trades out his life in the initial fight, but he sets up his team massively because just the side of Shaitans, they have so many engaged ultimates. This Wukong Cyclone just blows some flashes. Hey, Nico, you go in too. And then Hoptech finally lands a big one, sweeps three into with his soldiers into his team, and it was a little bit messy. It was not extreme. It was the cleanest, but ends up with a triple kill for Habibi Poppy. Unfortunately, they're not able to back up into the Baron. I think it's because Jason the Other did end up going down to start that fight, but they walk away with a 3k gold lead and complete vision control over this Baron, and they have just posture control. And we'll see if they try to play this Baron next, or they're going to set up for Drake in a minute. We'll see what happens.
We will see Rex's and Potential 5 jostle back for that vision as they move Azir and Zero Domain down to that bot side. Both mid laners with their TPs. So they will be the ones stationed on the bot side. One thing Lucian tends to excel at in these mid games is finding chunks on mid lane, getting priority with the culling, but hasn't really materialized for him. Had some spikes in this game where he had his item completions before Habibi Poppy, but they were not able to find the fights, as Mr. Cool Blue does not want to really tango with Jason the Other, but Jason the Other, also knowing that Victor can be behind him, doesn't want to clone over that wall. Chains of Corruption goes out. It finds Potential 5. He does have someone to stand beside him. Teleport in, and now they're just going to slam against the wall. The Pop Blossom onto 2, and they take out the Victor. The Arcane Storm is not going to do much without its master. A2 YOLO does find a kill on the backside. Hoptech just now trying to open up onto Mr. Cool Blue. No. And it's Habibi Poppy, now the lone member of the Shaitans because Rex is mowed through his team.
Wow, like really unexpected result from that because Zero Domain TP'd into a Cassante and he was kind of one-shot, but he did get all of his damage off. He was able to cast his ultimate, which grew bigger every time on the kill reset because he did drop his laser ultimate onto a squishy Nico. It expanded and reset, and it was hitting Jason the Other the entire time as well. Mr. Cool Blue was effectively zoning Hoptech the entire time, and Habibi Poppy is a burst poke Varus. He can't consistently dish out DPS after he blew his entire kit onto the Victor, and Lucian is just sitting there dishing out crit autos, abilities, and resetting, and he's just able to out DPS the rest of the Shaitans. On the other side, though, they do get this third Drake, Hex Tech Drake for the Shaitans. So, really good fight for the Chuds. In a better position, but the Shaitans are doing their best to get what they can on the map and look for the next fight after this Baron, probably.
And now that gold lead that the side of the Shaitans built up, entirely gone. Basically an even game from a gold standpoint now, as there are plenty of towers to be taken for the big back Chuds. They're all crystalled up and ready to be demolished. Rex's now 4 items on that Lucian is quite a bit scarier than the 4 items on a Lethality Varus.
Yeah. I think we're at the point where Lethality versus Poke is really just not that important. Like, 8th 2 YOLO, never really cared. Potential 5 can always block for his Lucian, and mage items are OP.
Schmied locked already at an angle, hits a 4-man Barbs, and now here comes the sweep! The roads are looking good for the Shaitans as they put them in the blender. It's a 4-for-1 fight win, and now they're barreling down mid.
Schmied lock. His ulti wasn't that good, but we took a second for that to understand that Nico passed through Tangle Barb's 2-second route on 4 members of the Chuds. They stood there and waited for Hoptech. Didn't even have to use his flash. No flash available to just come in and stream and shuffle 4 members into the blender. That was a crazy play by Schmiedlock to win his team the game. It looks like.
Yeah, Chain Disruption goes wide. Zero Domain gonna pop the ulti to try to clear out this wave. Has the Zonias to buy some time. That cannon minion is a bit sticky. Camper missing the Pathmaker as here comes Potential 5. They will hold on for now. And possibly lose their Cassante. I think he'll be fine. He's got Flash, worst case scenario. He's even got a Sun Disk behind him. How generous of the Emperor. But no, he's dead. He's dead for sure. As Rex is
Oh
now
no.
9 kills on the Lucian.
Yeah, so superhero play by Schmiedlock to really kill the Baron push and even up the gold. It looked like the game was steamrolling for the Chuds. They were getting towers, they're pushing with this Baron, but Schmiedlock super play. They get this mid in him, and it's a even getting once again. Both sides carries are pumping damage. The tanks are tanking, and the bruisers are very squishy because of all the damage items Riot has really added and the gold that Riot has added. But it's really anyone's game at this point. I think we should look at this. Both objectives coming up at the same time. Baron right after the Dragon Soul. So 2 minutes of chill time, and we'll see where people choose to set up.
Yeah, we do have Jason the Other just throwing out the Cyclone into Mr. Cool Blue. Chains go wide
Oh,
as Pop Blossom Protobelt. Good Zonias by Mr. Cool Blue, but is he going to get reinforcements in time? He's going to try to turn around, but this time the attorneys are used for some peel. Zero domain TPs for a bit of cardio, because there's not really much else to do up here. Back to the mid wave goes to BB Poppy with the super minions.
I'm gonna defend Hoptech on that shuffle. I think he was trying to deny Mr. Cool Blue from dashing and moonfalling. He was trying to interrupt the dash. Also, it wasn't like a try to sweep people. It was a more of a try to
Yeah,
keep my team
absolutely,
safe
absolutely.
type of sweep. Yeah.
Keep the space. Don't let the moon
But
fall on you. It does mean that as we take stock of everything that happened in that fight, Potential 5, the only one to lose something important of his flash in that fight. So still a minute out to this dragon. We will see the side of the Chuds try to move through, assert their vision line, and make sure that they don't give over this Hex Tech Soul.
yeah, we've been pointing out this with BB Poppy's lethality Varus has been playing extremely well, hitting a lot of skill shots, but it's just the damage this champ
Wait, they
puts
just
out
they
is
just let
not.
Schmiedlock go through the front door. The Braum does have the Unbreakable, but it
It is
goes
working.
away. He is
Camper
burst
on duty
out.
flake.
As now here comes Camper on duty with the all
Wait, he's a,
out, trying to find the backline,
wait.
but Rex is able to still put out good damage. Zero's man goes golden, try to buy time, but Hoptech sweeps on
Oh,
forward, finds his man, but Rex's
wait,
finds the
no!
shutdown, and he's trying to limp away. The Leanders is procced. Rex's doesn't care. You want to bring me to your team? I will assassinate them with haste.
Oh, what is
Hoptech
Hoptech
falls.
doing?
It's a quadra kill for Rex's. I don't know if Jason's going to be a dignified gentleman and give over a penta, but it does mean that Soul is denied. Maybe.
It looked like such a good wow, he's doing a lot of damage. It looked like such a good fight for the Shaitans. They had two tanks just getting free hit, one for free, potential 5 going down immediately, but it just seemed okay. I think Camper on Duty ulted a little bit too early. He turned himself from a tank who wasn't dying into a fighter who had no threat on a Lucian or Victor, and give Victor the reset on his ulti to make it bigger and threaten the rest of the team. What that resulted in is Hoptech thought he could go in and sweep everyone else, but he just puts the two carries onto his lethality Varus, who has no juice. So a little bit of discoordination from bad coordination from the Shaitans from what looked like a very good fight position, which means both teams are on soul point. Baron is up, gold is even, and we're in the same spot as 5 minutes ago.
It is going to be a nail biter here, ladies and gentlemen, as the Chuds do not want to go down quietly with an 0-2 scoreline. They are keeping it neck and neck here, 36 minutes in, on the back of Rex's Lucian, pumping out all the damage. Got the Knight's Vow, got the Locket, the Bandle Pipes from Potential 5, amping him up. Now a Guardian Angel, so that if he does get his Blossom popped, if he does get his Sands divided, does have a second chance there. Do move forward, get that mid tower. Gold becoming a bit less relevant as everyone works their way up to 6 items.
Yeah, I think Rexus is scaring his team, doing all the damage. He has 6 items. He's really hard for everyone else to kill. I'm really looking at just team play. I feel like at this point, the Shaitans really need to coordinate their engages and not overextend because Rexus is very slippery. If one engage fails, I don't think everyone else should be going and chasing unless it's like a really good. But they are hitting this Baron over the wall, and it's going down quite fast.
Yeah,
Let's see Victor TPing up to
they are going to look
match.
to pull. Here comes Victor on the TP. Cho'Gath trying to get in with a bit of a chomp, but it's secured as Schmiedlock makes space with the Pop Blossom. Mr. Cool Blue taking a ton of damage. Now Cyclone comes in off
Jason
the
the
back
other.
line. Rex is still staying safe. Gets hit by the second pop of the Cyclone, but now he's dashing forward. Gets some damage. Guardian Angel goes for the Wukong, but the
Rexus!
Braum is dead. Rexus stays alive. The sweep is not gonna find the
Rexus!
Lucian, and Rexus now has open fire, but he's in a 1v3. It's a triple for Habibi. He wants to make it 4. The arrow
Oh, he
goes
jukes.
wide. Now try to
Oh,
fire
no.
with the piercing light. But Rexus is down into his Guardian Angel. The Baron, the fight, and the series likely going the way of the Silk Road Shaitons.
Yes. Expertly positioned fight from the side of Shaitans. Hoptech was able to free hit, I think, 3 members for free, while Rexus is left kiting Jason the other and Camper on duty for the entire fight. He's not able to land his massive damage crits onto the squishy members of Hoptech or BB Poppy. And I think after the Baron, these Baron minions will probably give him enough damage to end this game right here.
Potential 5 is up. He's going to put up the Unbreakable, but the Nexus is exposed. Mr. Kubo trying to make his way forward, but Habibi avoids him, and it is a 2-0 win for the Silk Road Shaitons.
Yeah, valiantly fought by the Chuds. They took this game to the distance. No one had soul. It came to the last Baron fight, but just expertly positioned and maneuvered last team fight for the times of the Shaitans.
And to kind of break us away from any kind of high octane wrap up here, we are going to try to do some investigation, as there was some debate in the chat as to what allowed that certain Azir shuffle to go awry. I believe we are at this point here. If the camera could cooperate. Okay. Put on your Sherlock Holmes hats as we attempt to figure this one out before wrapping us up with a winner's interview.
All right, slow-mo this. Oh, it is the shield.
Yeah, it is the shield backwards from potential 5.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
Quite
that's
nice.
really weird.
Quite nice. You can put that one to bed, but either way, it is the game going the way of the Shaitans, regardless of where good old Braum positions his shield. We are going to see who we can drag in against their will for an interview.
Who's your match MVP?
You're the color caster. You get to decide.
I get to decide.
Yeah, all the
I
pressure.
think over the 2 games, I think Jason the other was, I think, the standout player. He had so much happen for his team. His team, like everyone, I think, played very well. There weren't that many glaring mistakes. The team comps were operating as they were supposed to. The team fights in this game too went to the wire a lot of time, and we have someone here to do an interview.
Yeah. We do have the Rough Tough appointed MVP, Jason the other here. Sir, how are you doing after a back and forth roller coaster of a game 2?
Yeah, doing pretty good. It was a good series.
Oh shoot, hold on. I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
It was a good series.
Yeah, I mean,
I kind of griefed in the enemy base during the second last team fight, but other than that, I thought it was a clean game.
It was a very clean game from you. I do remember that you were just chasing some of the enemy base, and then Hop Tech goes for the shuffle and shuffles the 2 carries, and I'm like, where's this really strong Wukong? He should be here, right?
Yeah,
But
I thought my team won the fight, so I just went to chase Diana for fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel like this game was really solid. But one thing I do want to ask is, over the course of the 2 games, your team chooses to give up the first 2 early Drakes and then opt to fight the other 2. Do you guys just value Grubs and Herald more, or?
I think it was mostly just how the game like turned out and how my like pathing kind of went. I do think early Grubs is better than first Drake though. but it wasn't like purely planned that we would give up every first streak.
I see. That makes sense.
One thing I do want to press you on here is certain things were leaked to me about your thoughts on
What?
Nico's support. Has that changed at all
What?
after this second game?
Yeah, Habibi, I'm a believer, or not Habibi, Hoptech, I'm a believer now. All right, my bad for being a Nico hater.
Hey, you know, it's always good to
Yeah,
approach things with skepticism, approach them with doubt, but Schmiedlock forcing flashes on that Pop Blossom got a massive Tango Barbs in that mid lane fight when it felt like things were starting to slip away. How do you feel about your team going forward here in DMV Rivals?
I think we're very good. I think my top laner has the patience of a monk, surviving tank versus tank 2 games in a row. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're pretty good.
yeah. Do you have any other teams that you think would be your greatest competition, or you just think you're by far the best team in the tourney?
I mean, I thought this one would be like, because like the power rankings had this team that we just played as number 1. So I guess besides them, I don't know. No, nothing stands out too much. I think it's an easy
I
first.
see.
Okay. That will surely never backfire as long as you keep winning your games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on for the interview. Congratulations on an opening day victory. Look forward to seeing you guys throughout the rest of the split.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. Congrats on the win.
Yeah.
And with that, we are done here for week number 1 of DMV Rivals. There are some separate player streams going on for our last remaining game of week 1 if you would like to hop over. But that is a wrap 2-0 for the Silk Road Chaitons on the road to a possible championship, as we will sign off and wish you all a good night.